What you don't need to do is quit your job, get a massive credit card, then just hope it works out. Some people do that and it works, and good on them. But I don't know about you, but that makes me want to kind of like dry retch with fear of sort of putting myself at that risk. So if you are looking to change careers or make some change in your life, don't worry about having to have them happen overnight and be immediately successful. They won't happen overnight and it won't be immediately successful. Those things, are just kind of like once in a blue moon, and you might get the blue moon, which is cool. But give yourself the time, space and permission to decide where you want to be, plan out how you get there. Hey, welcome, it's Lucy Sheridan, the comparison coach here. Hope that this finds you really, really well and you're having a good day. I hope this next video that you're about to watch with me is going to inspire you if you've been feeling maybe there are some questions about your career, whether you're like at school and people are starting to ask you what you might want to do, or you are in the thick of your career and you're thinking this doesn't feel quite right at the moment, or maybe you're retired and you're thinking something doesn't feel like it's over for me yet. I feel like there's still work and create something I'm supposed to be bringing into the world. If that is the case, I really highly recommend this book, The Multi-Hyphen Method. Now, full disclosure, Emma Gannon is a really good mate of mine, so I want to get behind my girl anyway, but this book is a really amazing rallying cry to invite us to think about how we look at the work we do, how we approach and perceive our careers, and how we take control of our earnings and how we spend our time as well. The multi-hyphen method, I think, is a brilliant name. It suggests a lot about what she outlines in this book. But what it ultimately allows us to do is to not just have to pick one lane, stick in it for 45 years, and then anything else is a failure. It brings in loads of choice and loads of flexibility and loads of accessibility and loads of really, like I say, leg room for us to be creative and to ultimately use our own skills, talents and resources to our own benefit, so we can help others through our own skills. What I wanted to cover off as part of this video is something that kind of struck me, and I speak to a lot of people about, especially as part of my business. I help people launch businesses, I help people grow businesses as well. And for those people that come to me and say, Lucy, I want you to be my business coach or brand mentor, they'll often have questions about, for example, do they have to like leave their job straight away, or what's the black and white choice, what's the yes no, the exact next right steps to take. Now, there are some certain steps that are the right ones to take, but what I want to say to you is, if you're wanting to grow, develop or change your career, you do not have to do it overnight. It can happen over a phase of time, which can be designed by you, and it will probably, and I would actually recommend that it involves some bridging, some bridge jobs. So for example, if I look at my experience, at the time of recording this, I've been 5 years self-employed. I've been working in my coaching business full-time now for 3 years. And yet, if I look at kind of how my career's gone up until now, I had to take other jobs to kind of, support myself when I became an entrepreneur, because my landlady doesn't care if I'm fulfilled or not. She just wants a rent at the end of the month, right? So you can kind of be sensible about how you get food in and how your bills are all covered. What you don't need to do is quit your job, get a massive credit card, then just hope it works out. Some people do that and it works, and good on them. But I don't know about you, but that makes me want to kind of like dry retch with fear of sort of putting myself at that risk. So if you are looking to change careers or make some change in your life, don't worry about having to have them happen overnight and be immediately successful. They won't happen overnight and it won't be immediately successful. Those things, are just kind of like once in a blue moon, and you might get the blue moon, which is cool. But give yourself the time, space and permission to decide where you want to be, plan out how you get there. And that might involve a bit more time than you had imagined. It might involve a few more bridge jobs while you get on your feet as part of that. But with that comes more experience, with that comes growth, with that comes experience increased in kind of like in your confidence as well. Having confidence in what you can do, and confidence in your experience, confidence in your talents and confidence in your skills. Because when it comes to being an entrepreneur and maybe following a multi-hyphen method, or just having one thing that you do and you want to offer to people, it takes elements of like learning to get established and get up and going. And then when you're up and going, it's cool, which is brilliant, but it doesn't have to happen overnight. So if you are looking to change or change lanes for yourself in your career, couple of tips. check out Emma Ganner's book, The Multi-Hyphen Method. It's a really, really inspiring read and packed with loads of practical tips as well. I do get a couple of mentions, I'm not going to lie, which I've delighted and so honoured to see. But don't worry about the second thing is, don't worry about having to change your LinkedIn profile tomorrow to represent this new career and the new you want to have. It can happen over time, and that time is for you to dictate. So good luck with it, be brave and go for it. This is your life, this is your career. Have a great one.